So as of recent, we had rapper DaBaby, who is currently looking like he's getting canceled in culture due to some homophobic rants that he made at the Rolling Loud festival. One of the trickle effects that led from this was him getting canceled from Lollapalooza's festival just hours before his start time. Wow, that part is crazy. Just a couple hours before he started to perform. Like I said, this was a result of him just kind of, going on a rant and voicing his opinions on, homosexuals or their lifestyle. And I don't at all agree with the way that he did it, but I think there is a question out there. Is it wise for artists to voice their opinions on their moral standards or what they believe to be morally correct? Especially if they're pressed for it, if people want to know, hey, where do you stand on this issue or this topic? How do they respond? Or should they even put themselves out there first just to clarify, hey, this is where I'm at on this topic. What do you think?
Yeah, so this is where wisdom and tact come into play.
Okay.
So you can look at examples of where people can disagree on something versus how DaBaby said it in this instance, right? So to my knowledge, it wasn't said in a way of like, hey, here's this issue we disagree on. It was said in just like he just blurted something out on stage, like it was more so along the lines of like homophobic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So I don't want to get into. Actually, let me say the way it's stated as like a phobia, that has kind of been like used as anybody who disagrees with anything. So now there's like fat phobia and like all these other phobias.
Yeah.
Right. So whenever I see that in a headline, I do go and look at the story to see if it was actually like a phobia thing, which is supposed to be a fear or aversion of something, versus just, hey, I don't agree with this.
Right.
It's now turned into anybody who doesn't condone this 100% is a phobia.
Right.
No, that's not how phobias work.
Right.
Okay, if I have arachnophobia, I'm afraid of spiders. Okay?
Right.
So, and the baby might not have like a fear of homosexuality.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to clear up that term.
Right.
The other thing about this is you can look at examples such as, any devout Muslim or any devout Christian, like if they're asked about something like, hey, do you agree with this? Like, well, no, like I don't agree with it.
Right.
But does that mean I get on stage and say something to the tune of what he said? No, it doesn't mean I go on stage and say that. So you do have to watch those lines, because then if somebody, let's say there's a Muslim business owner, right? And somebody wants him to put up an advertisement in his window, in his shop window, and it's something about homosexuality.
Right.
Now, is he being a devout Muslim by saying no, or is he being homophobic by saying no? Like, which one is it?
Which one is it?
Because if you would say he is being homophobic, then wouldn't somebody also point at you and say you're being Islamophobic?
Yeah.
So
good point.
Which one is it?
Good point. Yeah.
Like, people can't pick and choose, which is where the whole morally relative thing comes in again, right? If you don't have a foundation of like your morals across the board, which is what a Islam or what a Christianity, or like if you're going to say like this is my code of life, that would be an objective standard, because it's submitting to a higher standard than yourself. Even if I disagree with Islam, like because I'm not Muslim, so I would by necessity disagree with Islam. Right. Anybody who's not Muslim disagrees with Islam. Does that make you Islamophobic? No, it doesn't make you Islamophobic.
Right.
It means you disagree. Okay.
Right.
So what he said, again, yes, it was along the lines of more so hatred.
Yeah.
Okay. But just because somebody disagrees does not mean that you are out to get these people. So when it comes to you as an individual person, and you as an entertainer, as an artist, as a a band manager, whatever that is, a restaurant owner, don't be afraid to say that you disagree with something,
Right,
don't be a jerk about
Right.
it, obviously. But if you're pressed to answer a question, because people are like afraid of answering these questions,
Yeah, man.
so much, and I don't like the fear of that, and I don't like the double standards and just the logical inconsistency.
100%.
Which is why I walked through that whole thing of, are you Islamophobic or are you homophobic?
Right.
So the tact somebody has in answering it does matter.
Yes.
Being able to elaborate on why you believe what you believe, not like cowering in a corner. So I think that is important. Like, have wisdom about it and know why you believe what you believe.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you need to accept that you're going to disagree with somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you can still be friends with somebody and disagree.
Yeah.
Not everybody who works for me is a Christian person. Does that mean that because they don't hold my views that they hate me?
Right.
No.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
come on. If I thought they hated me, I wouldn't have hired them.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like emotions
Yeah.
around this argument because people think that you are attacking their identity because they put their identity there.
That's good.
So if they put their identity there and you say, I don't necessarily agree with this, they feel as though you
Coming after them.
you have invalidated their entire existence because they put their identity there.
Yeah.
So me personally, I don't put my identity in sexuality. That's why I can talk about this subject, because I haven't rooted myself in like, this is the core essence of my being.
Right.
How I feel sexually. That's not the core essence of my being.
That's right, man.
All right.
That's good.
So have wisdom when you go over these. Don't do it like he did it.
Yeah.
That's not how to do it.
Yeah.
But you can look at examples of, there's like the whole Chick-fil-A thing. Was that a decade ago or whatever?
Yeah.
Somebody tried to essentially bait and trap them with a question, and they weren't jerks about it. They just said like, no, like based on what the Bible says, like we don't agree with this.
Yep.
Like, not saying that. I think they were asked on marriage, right? It was something about that, and somebody can double check me. But they were asked about this publicly, and they didn't make a fuss about it. Somebody wanted to make a fuss about them.
Yeah.
Okay, so they just answered it honestly, and somebody was trying to take them down. Last I checked, Chick-fil-A has definitely grown over the last decade, and is on a very steep growth curve.
Yeah.
So there is a way to do it. I think people will have a short attention span when it comes to this. Like, DaBaby's clearly said many, many more morally heinous things before this. Just the culture has deemed this one to be the top of the moral chain
For sure.
of this, which just shows you why is everybody trying to place their identity in
That's right,
sexuality, no matter what you say you feel like today, even if you're on the heterosexual side. Why are you trying to place your identity there?
That's right.
Like, that's not a safe place to
Not a
put
good
your
foundation.
identity.
Not at all.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's my thoughts on it. No, clearly, I wouldn't be of the type to be scared to just answer the question, honestly.
Right.
So you guys can do likewise. However you feel about it, you can drop us a comment on it. Maybe I said something today that you hadn't heard before. So drop us a comment. Don't be afraid to converse about it. Like, if you're just the straight emotional type that you can't hear somebody else's opinion without freaking out, this probably isn't the discussion for you. But if you are the type that would like to hear where somebody else is coming from, or the many paths of life out there, and just converse with people. Everybody says they want to be tolerant, but in order to be tolerant, you first have to disagree with something.
That's right.
There's no such thing as being tolerant when you already agree with something.
It's an opportunity to be intolerant.
So drop us a comment. We'll talk to you.
Yes, sir. Well said.